different.
Right.
You might be buying some kind of a commodity where it's a little bit more specialized. I'm a contracting officer and I support, what I'm supporting right now is the uninterruptible power supplies, power conditioning equipment. But it's really quite specialized. You might, it's all commercial componentry. And you say, oh, well, we should be getting some small business development going on there. But what we require, and it's coming up within the next 2 years, it's not right now, but we're going to be purchasing hardware and services to integrate that hardware into locations that are located around the world. See, so some of these, every one of these requirements is different. You just got to be aware of what requirements are out there. I know how extensive that, a lot of research that it takes. That trainer workflow, that simulator workflow, that was a great little kind of an insular community. They're a really well-developed community, and we understood the marketplace. Problem with that was, though, that they pulled the rug out from under us, and that whole workload has gone back to headquarters at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We don't support that here.
So speaking from a small business perspective, we feel like if we didn't know about it in advance, that we're probably being too reactionary, and we just assume that there's going to be a lot of competition for it, actually. And it becomes a matter of, well, do we try and throw our hat in that ring? How much of a chance do we have? We didn't know about it. So anything you can do to kind of make it as inviting as possible for us to contact you, because otherwise our assessment process is really based on how much time do we have to respond, and did we know about it, and how strong do we feel about our capabilities there.
Anybody in this room support power conditioning equipment or?
So that's a notice in a public. Probably not.
But a little bit specialized.
That's another thing that I know our clients get frustrated with is just accessibility to you.
Sure.
But they're not always frustrated with it because contracting officers differ. Some are really good,
If you get latch, you're gonna have a hard time.
and some don't answer emails, don't answer phone calls, and you can't get through. That makes a big difference if you will respond to questions. So
Yeah, that makes a huge difference, because you assume kind of usually off the bat that it's going to be like pulling teeth to get some of the information you need.
well, and that's the biggest issue that comes up is they need information. Whether it's some kind of document like drawings or specs or something, and they can't find it in the solicitation. I'll read through the solicitation form and I can't find it either. That's kind of frustrating, but.
If they can't find it, they really should be contacting the contracting officer required that it's listed on there, through the email that's listed on.
Right, but buyers are very hard to get to.
Yeah.
But
Even with that information posted, I think people get a bit gun shy about it, just because half the time when you try and ask questions, you don't get clear enough answers, and it just
I think
seems
it
like you
really,
invest a week in something and don't make any progress. That
Really?
just tends to be the perception anyway.
really comes
It's not
down
always,
to,
sorry, it's not always true by any means. There are people that are very responsive, and that's not, sorry.
no, sorry. I just didn't know when you were
Yeah.
finished. But accessibility is a really important issue. But I want you to know too that the PTAC folks, we are all willing to do whatever we can to help you get the people that you need. And so if you have ideas, bounce them off us, and we will be more than happy to do whatever we can, because the most important thing to us is that our clients be successful in getting money. So.
And Johnny, along with that, now Johnny represents the Utah companies, but PTAC's a national network. So he belongs to an organization called APTAC, which is an association for all of the PTACs. And so you don't have access just to the Utah PTAC, but you can go onto their website and find listings, or the DLA website lists all the PTAC programs they fund in the nation. So, there are listings for all those PTACs throughout the nation that you can call and see if they have any companies.
As a matter of fact, I don't want to do business with them.
I know, it's federal, so.
I only want to do business with Utah business. But it is true. You can go to the national site, which is AppTac. Just Google that, and it'll get you there.
Is there a PTAC in every state?
In every state right now, yeah. Some states are a little less good at it, aggressive at it. Utah's, we always right way up there. So. But there's like a map. It'll say find a PTAC. Just click on that state that you want to find, and you can get the addresses, phone numbers, contacts, and everything for every PTAC in the country through AppTac. So, all right. But anyway, these are some of the other things that we do and assist with. The basic stuff, getting your registrations out of the way. There's the standard registration for federal and BidSync, which is required for many state and local. And we also help with, as I mentioned, with these certifications for socioeconomic disadvantage set-asides. And we assist with just anything, like I say, that comes up. GSA is something that we assist with, but we have a very, we have a relationship, Utah does. This is unique to Utah right now. We have a contractual relationship with a consulting firm that we use to help our clients with certain things, and one of those things is GSA. GSA represents about 10% of procurements, federal procurements. So, pretty sizable amount of money, $40–45 billion. And the consultant that we work with on that has a wonderful system to take our clients through. So we've kind of shifted that over, and we just send our clients that we'll give them basic information about GSA and talk about it to help our clients understand if it's some kind of a viable thing for them to do. But anyway, and if you have questions about that, I'll be happy to answer whatever I can. But normally we will send them to her because she does such an excellent job, and she can get people through it. And I have clients who are very successful at GSA having gone through her workshop system.
And do you mean the schedules, getting on a schedule, or do you mean working with the GSA fee for services?
Well, you get on schedule, and then you're on their system. You have to get a contract first, a GSA contract, and you're on their system. And but it's really a marketing tool. It's not something that you can just get on there and expect sales to happen. And if you don't get sales happening, they'll drop you in like a couple of years or something. But if you will be aggressive about marketing yourself as a GSA contractor, many agencies really like doing business with GSA for various kinds of things. Because they don't have to go through the contracting process. They can just go find you on there and buy from you.
Is wide area workflow one of the things that you help contractors with?
Yeah, we have resources that we can refer you to. It's not really our area of expertise, although we have knowledge of it.
Well, I'm not a buyer, and I just have a lot of contractors that come to me and have issues with it.
Yeah.
And so I'm always looking for people to send them to, because a lot of times, some of the times they're here, but I can't go to their facilities.
No, that would be something you would send them to a PTAC for, absolutely. We do workshops on wide area workflow. So our workshops are not what I would call regular. They are sort of when we have an opportunity, we'll do a workshop. Anyway, yeah, definitely. So I don't know if you have any more questions on those, but these are.
I have one more question. Just
sure.
On the fourth bullet where you talk about teaming and contracting partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do in that regard to bring small businesses and large businesses together?
Well, we do personal things, I guess you could say. I just had a client in the office a couple of days ago, and we were talking about that very thing. And I've put them together with some people that I think are, there's some possibilities for some joint venture types of things. And the same would be true of a mentor protege kind of arrangement. We have some very good relationships with larger companies that are not our clients, but they kind of are, because they come to us for, to access our database. And so, we can give assistance with that, but I always stress to my clients, if you're going to enter into any kind of a teaming arrangement of any kind, you need an attorney involved, because you want to have your T's crossed, your I's dotted, and make sure you're protected. Because those are important arrangements, and you just want to make sure you get it right. And I wouldn't just draft something and think that's going to cover you. So these are our regional managers. We have one in Utah Valley at UVU. Alex is in Kaysville, just down the road at the DATC. Fred is the director of the program, and he actually is on a panel at the end of the day. What is it, the 315 panel. And then Chuck is in Salt Lake. He handles everything kind of Murray North, and I handle everything Midvale South and West Valley. Sometimes to the extent that they sit down in the office with me and we'll go over it point by point, make sure that they've covered everything. And I do that fairly regularly with my clients. But it's important for our clients to understand that, because PPAC is what it is. And, in my database, I've got hundreds of clients, so, I can't do everything for every one of them, but we do what we can do. And I think we're pretty effective at it. Our clients are, many of them are very successful at it. And so you can learn to do it, and you can be successful at it, but you've got to do what it takes. And that means it's going to, take up some time, a commitment on your part. So, let's see. I don't really want to spend too much time on that unless there's anybody here who doesn't know what Dunn's number is. Don't be shy if you don't know. And Sam, probably familiar with that. It's really a new, relatively new system. They're consolidating a lot of databases into the one site, which is good. There were some glitches to begin with for a year and a half, but got through those. I think it's pretty smooth now. We don't really have any problems that come up with it. And the Federal Service Desk is very helpful. There was a time there where it was like, you'd have to wait an hour or more to get somebody. But I've called them a few times over the last few months and never had to wait longer than 5 or 10 minutes. So I feel like that's good. And I should mention that takes a little time to get through. It's not a simple registration. I mean, FedBizOps, you can do that in 15 minutes. This one is going to take you a while. But it's something that PPAC people are very familiar with and can get you through. Now, these set-asides are, I mentioned them earlier, they vary greatly in the amount of time it takes to get through a certification. 8A is a very lengthy one. That is typically minority contracting, although the language doesn't say that. It's just that if someone owns a company and they're a member of an officially recognized minority group, they're automatically eligible to pursue certification. Doesn't mean that they'll get it, but they're automatically eligible. If you aren't, you have to demonstrate, according to SBA's criteria, that you are socioeconomically disadvantaged. And I do have a couple of clients that are not members of minority groups, and they qualify. A white male-owned company has qualified, so it is possible to do that. And then hub zones, we don't have a lot of those in Utah, but there are certain areas. We lost a couple of big areas, Box Elder County and Tooele County, because of new census data, and they were disappointed in that, but it's one of the things that happens. And then the women-owned, that's a new set-aside program, relatively new, a couple of years old. The certification for that doesn't take very long, at least not by comparison to 8A. That one takes many months to get through this. This one, more like weeks to get everything taken care of for that. And then service disabled veteran owned. That one is kind of, even though all of these come under SBA, that one is kind of overseen by Veterans Administration. There was a time when they weren't, when the program was, people were cheating, you should say, making the claim, but they, it diminished the value of the certification. So they've tightened it up so that if you have certification, you really qualify. So that was true actually the women-owned situation prior to the set-aside being set up as well. But it just makes it more valuable to have the certification if they're certain that people who have the certification should have it. So, and then the total small business, and that's the largest one. And so I always tell my clients, look, if you can't qualify for those other certifications, it's not the end of the world. Because the biggest set-aside is small business. And besides that, if it's under $150,000, it's automatically reserved for small businesses. So the government is interested in leveling the playing field a little bit so that small businesses can be more involved in government contracting. I can't hardly read some of this stuff. Oh, that's just a link. And then the disadvantaged business enterprise, that's really transportation related. And that certification also takes a fair amount of time. I don't think it's quite as much as 8A, but it does take months to complete that. And
Is that okay?
that's better, thank you. The UTA and Utah Department of Transportation both have people who are responsible for those certifications, and they can help you through that process. So, let's see. Maybe I wanted to back up here a little bit. So, and when you mentioned the buyer thing, the contracting officer is not the person that decides, oh, we need to make a purchase. The buyer makes that decision, and then the contracting officer handles the administration of the contract process. Getting to know agencies and the people that actually are going to make decisions about buying is an important thing to do. So we try to help by setting up various outreach events and other networking opportunities for our clients to get to know the right people. And that's probably the biggest thing that we do. We have a symposium every year in October, and we invite agencies to attend those. And we have kind of a reverse trade show sort of situation where we have 50 or 60 booths and various agencies and large prime contractors that are, like Boeing and Northrop and companies like that will come, and it gives our clients an opportunity to meet those people and begin establishing relationships. So, that answer your question?
Yes.
You have any suggestion?
Sounds good to me.
Do you want to log in, Johnny, or?
For the company, that particular industry.
That's when you just put soybean on it.
Yeah. I knew it. I knew it.
It works. It's just so much like the code and it goes. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah. Well, the more I know about you guys, the better.
Just kidding.
So, anyway, well, let's see, I didn't really want to go here, but,
I don't put soybean.
so I won't move that out. Okay, and how do I make it go up? Oh, use two fingers. That works. And then,
Technology's getting complex and you have to use two fingers.
okay, something's not working here. for some reason. Yeah, it must be really complex.
So where does the subsystem pull its information from? Does it pull directly from FBO to get these opportunities, or does it rely on some sort of external population, or how does that work?
It's telling me that it's not,
Johnny, did you get that question?
yeah, I did. We get our information from, I was trying to pull up the search criteria, because that's probably something of interest, but, for example, we search FedBizOps, so you don't have to. You can, and you should get familiar with it and understand. There's a lot of features on FedBizOps that can be very helpful to you besides just searching for solicitations. But, and that could be a workshop in and of itself, talking about FedBizOps and how to utilize that effectively. But our system will search that based upon the search criteria that we put in there. Oh, yeah, let's pick up one there. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, I can't find it again. Oh, there it is. It's the one finger, two finger thing.
Gets people every time.
Okay. So this step one tells you, let's see, what, the groupings of what we search. We search FedBizOps, we search DLA, and DLA is like product stuff, mostly spec types of things. FedBizOps, all kinds of things, particularly projects, but it also has solicitations of all kinds on there. Other federal is just other things that aren't DLA or FedBizOps, and there are other bid sources that we go to. So we're picking up everything federal. I can't remember how many, but it's maybe 25 sites or something like that. So we're getting everything federal. Then international, we also search for international opportunities. That's when a foreign government is looking for something. Some of our clients are interested in that. And we also have partner resources that can help you with doing business overseas. Local bids, that's really just Dodge Report stuff. And our construction clients asked us to add that because they wanted to, it can give them a heads up kind of thing. So, but they will charge you a fee to see the solicitations, but it's just something that it's mainly construction. And then non-federal is just everything that's government but not federal. So we I mentioned higher education, state, cities and counties, and school districts. Now, we search by state, so I'll have clients come to my office and say, well, I'm just interested in Salt Lake Valley. Well, too bad, you're gonna have to look at Utah, because we don't search like that, we just search by state. But we can search any group of states, one state, any group, or nationwide. And so, it just depends on what the client's needs are. I always encourage them to have as wide a geographic scope as they possibly can, because otherwise their opportunities are going to be very limited.
And
Oh,
Johnny,
you got a question?
yeah, you yourself, Johnny's not going in there and saying, okay, right now I'm doing Fed Biz Ops for just this client, or right now I'm just doing, they actually pay for a service that they put all this data into and select which databases you want to search, right?
Exactly.
So that's where your PT Assist is, that's probably your software product that you use.
Yep.
And they work with that company that has that software to tell them what kinds of things they want to search. And then they set up the profiles based on that company's parameters and things for these different search.
And the rest of this is just like, that's the geographic scope that like right here. We can select the states under $100. They're $30, $50, $70, something like that. But if it goes over $100, we'll charge the client for that excess, whatever's over $100. But, and that's useful for some of our clients, particularly machine shops. They seem to be the ones that utilize that the most. We can obtain procurement histories for them, and I do that. I've got one client that seems like every day they're asking for 4 or 5 different procurement histories. But anyway, any other questions? Okay. We really encourage you, if you aren't signed up with the PTAC, do it. Come visit our booth, pick up some information, and thank you for your time.